standard T-Rex rocked up and proceeded to throw down with the zombie T-Rex. You guys used the destruction of the zombie T-Rex and the large T-Rex fighting to promptly escape and fled through the night in order to get away from the fighting. The last thing you heard was the sound of the cry of the zombie T-Rex. Thank you, GL. The roar of the zombie T-Rex in the distance. You moved for some hours before daylight started to creep in. You probably kept moving for about 4 or 5 hours, and finally you sort of stopped to take a breath in part of the jungle that you're not familiar with. You're off course. You're not too sure where you are, and you are all exhausted. So basically what that means, you've got exhaustion is broken into a few categories. And let's have a look here. I got it. Exhaustion. No, because I can't spell. Thanks for the host, GL. I think exhaustion basically means that you get disadvantage on ability checks and attack levels.
No, attack is 3rd level or something.
Okay.
I think it's just ability
checks. So you had a rough night. You've gotten through it, but you had no chance to rest, regain any of your spells or anything like that. On top of that, Barrett, as you stop, everyone's sort of catching their breath. Barrett is quite feverish and shaking as she's sweating profusely, but she looks like icy cold, barely able to even grip her spear. What do you guys want to do?
Have we moved away from the? Are we far enough away from the Rex?
Well, do you want to? If you guys want to make some perception checks.
Is it raining?
It's currently not raining.
Okay, cool. Can I cast Detect Undead, please?
Yep. Pop it up on the
1 mile radius.
Yep, 1 mile radius. And I think it's actually further than that if you're in your favoured land. I think your favourite terrain extends it out even further, I think.
I don't know. No. Sorry.
That's alright. Let me double check.
I'm looking for it now.
Let's just look up Ranger and see what we get. One of those Rangers.
While Bully's frantically poring through his spellbook to determine whether or not he can do something, I will concentrate and expend 2 charges of my Charm of Restoration and cure my afflicting condition.
Excellent. You do so. You initiate your Charm of Restoration, and you're able to the shakes almost stop. Yep. And yes, because your favourite terrain is thank you, Idrix. Because your favourite terrain, Bull, is the jungle now as well, you're able to extend that ability out to 6 miles. And within 6 miles of you, there are definitely some undead. You can... Let's have a look here. Let me double check. Favourite enemy. Your favourite enemy. Favourite natural explorer. Does it? Okay. I don't think you can tell which direction they are. Only that they are around. For memory, this doesn't have it here.
Yeah, no, it doesn't. You just know they're around.
Yeah.
You don't know if they're...
So you do sense the presence. You do get the presence that there are definitely undead around you, but you are getting sort of multiple pings upon your sensors.
Yeah, I'm going to communicate that to the group and make a decision out whether we stay. Do we stay and try and hide for a while to recover, or do we keep moving?
Well, do we get another ball or not?
Do we get another what? Sorry.
Dome.
Aldier can absolutely cast another one. That's fine.
Is there any? So there are undead. Can we?
Yes.
Is there anything I can do to see if we're being pursued by the big one? Perception or something, or is it?
Yeah. You can roll some perception checks to see if you can hear anything out of the ordinary, or.
Yeah, I'll do that as well, please.
Yeah, I'll join in.
Yeah, do it. Correct. First one of the night. Well done.
Take 10. No, wait, wrong
Yeah,
game.
wrong game. Nice rolls, guys. Awesome. Well done. You guys.
Nice 18, man. What a shit roll.
What a cunt. You guys all take stock of the surrounding area, including Azaka, who basically also checks out like certain parts of this area. She goes to down to one knee and checks out a few tracks and bits and pieces. All that you can hear in the background is basically the noises of the jungle, and there are no sounds of large footsteps approaching, or there's no tremors in any of the puddles on the ground, or anything like that that would suggest that you guys are being pursued by anything large. The jungle canopy, you're surrounded by really large trees in this area, quite broad branched and like strong trunks, and you can see through the canopy like the sunlight is like pouring through some of the gaps within the jungle canopy above you. But yeah, it doesn't appear to be anyone directly around you. Did you want to check the area out a bit more? Did you want to do it like a perimeter, or?
Yeah, just a question for the group. Do you guys want to stay? I'm happy to go do a perimeter check. I can put up alarm wards, or I'm happy to move on. I'm happy to go scout ahead in a direction.
I'm happy to stay.
Anyone else got an opinion one way or the other?
I think we need to recover.
We're in pretty much just jungle guts right now, right?
Very much so. And not only that, you sort of have no real bearing on where you are.
Is there any is there any high ground or any rocky areas in the immediate area?
Not in the immediate area. The closest thing to high ground you've got is the trees themselves.
Okay.
Alright, can I take it to Azaka and go do a perimeter sweep? I'll do 300 feet out. She can do 150 feet out.
Yep. Azaka suggests that if you were going to camp here, then do so, and they'll be back soon with any knowledge of if this place is going to be safe for the next 8 hours or not. But she recommends no fire, and she recommends that as much silence as you can muster. Nothing loud, no conversation. Keep your ears to the ground, basically.
I'll just be blind over here then.
Alright. Okay, so... excuse me. So, Bull, you and Azaka head off, starting to sort of skirt around the area you're currently... The rest of the party currently is, and then like get out wider and wider as you scout out the immediate vicinity, getting past like the 200 foot point. Can I get you to make a survival check with advantage as Azaka's with you helping? 21. Alright. So there are tracks here that you find that are days old. Some tracks resemble like humanoid bipedal tracks ending with like vicious looking sort of claws as toes.
Mm-hmm.
Other ones you recognize as like large almost like paw prints, like from some sort of you guess from some sort of large cat. And Azaka verifies. She says yes, these prints are tiger prints. And she said, and she sort of motions to you to follow as she follows some of the tiger prints further away from the camp.
Yep.
And
I'll go with her.
She you guys walk for about another 50 feet, and she stops you again, and says, and she sort of sniffs the air, and then sniffs close to the ground, and she says, "Can you smell that?" With that roll, you can sort of smell the acrid smell of like an ammonia-like smell, like a scent.
Mm-hmm.
And she says, "This area has been marked by at least perhaps a pride of tigers. They are common in the jungles, and if we are on their territory, we best be careful."
Understood. All right, let's head back.
She says, as you go to head back, she stops and she says, "Wait," and she sort of looks around to make sure that no one else is sort of nearby, and she says, I know that you've been observing my behavior and my patterns. Just know that if you keep your observations to yourself, I will perhaps reveal to you the nature of my special abilities."
Yep. I just give her an understanding nod.
And she and you head back towards the camp.
Yep, cool. I'm going to drop that down, please, and I'm going to cast my rope trick for Barrett so that they can rest outside the elements. You can go in my extra dimensional.
We've got the bubble up.
Yeah, there's a dome.
Does the bubble stop the elements?
Yeah, it stops everything. It's
Okay,
actually,
cool.
and it
Not a
even
problem.
reduces the temperature to be a decent. It's like a habitable temperature.
Oh, loving it. Okay.
The so you guys begin to rest. It's part of the day. It's still quite early in the morning, and as you guys sort of set up and consume. Astrid, are you able to cast food and water, or? Yep. So Astrid provides.
No. Okay.
No. Okay. So we consume a day's worth of food today. So I'll just mark that down for you guys. You got 22 days of rations. Rations left, and we're going to use another day of repellent. We'll mark that off while we're here. The day passes relatively uneventful, but I will get the morning passes uneventfully. I will get you guys to. Do you guys want to post watch, or do you basically all just huddle in the bubble, or?
I'll take the first watch that is in the night, which is usually the second watch.
Yep. So you're basically going to have to. You can stay here for 24 hours. You have to rest for 8 hours to recover from exhaustion. By the time that comes around, it'll be sort of mid-afternoon. You can sort of push on. So you won't see a nighttime in here unless you rest for a full 24 hours in this spot.
Oh, it's the morning.
It's the morning. You've run through the night. You got disturbed last night.
Yep.
You've run through the night, and you've now set up and trying to.
And we need 8 hours?
8 hours full rest. You didn't get that last night.
Yeah, I'll take the first watch.
Cool.
But
Yep. Go on.
I want to be outside the bubble so I can detect the elements, smell things, whatnot.
Yep.
While I'm on watch.
Again, Azaka joins you again. Make a perception check as well, Bull. You're feeling quite haggard. You stay sort of close to the thing, expecting to have your watch in the next couple of hours, and so you're able to rest. But the one thing you do notice about your companion, Azaka, is that she's sweating and everything like that, but she seems to be, her energy levels appear to be high. That she hasn't suffered any form of, she hasn't been daunted by the run through the night or anything like that. She seems to be in peak physical condition, despite what you guys have just been through.
Robot.
She's an android. The watch passes, and she sort of keeps herself outside of the bubble as the next person comes into watch, Who would that be?
I'll go next.
Cool. So, Bull, you settle back down to rest. If you need to rest for the rest of the watch in order to recover. Astrid, you've been woken up after 2 hours of rest. You're feeling somewhat better, and you sort of you notice that Azaka is perched outside of the bubble, sort of hunched in a low crouch, keeping an eye and an ear on everything around her as the jungle sounds still continue to surround you. Get you to make a perception check, please, bud.
Are these at disadvantage, these checks?
No, ability, yes, they would be, yep. So we'll say 11. I missed the last one, that's okay. Do you stay within the bubble, or do you go out to greet?
I'll go out to where Azaka is.
She offers...
Was she perched on something? Or
she's just sort of perched out on the ground, just sort of watching out. The foliage is fairly dense around you, and she's just sort of watching for any signs of movement through the through the scrub. And she beckons you to sort of sit down and continue to rest. She says, just very lowly, she says, I'm not sure if Bull informed you, but there have been tigers spotted in the area. She says, if you see one, just return to the bubble. This is their territory. We dare not. We should not attack them unless they attack us first.
Yeah. Is she far away from the bubble, or is just near it?
She's just sort of maybe 5 feet out.
Oh yeah, that's fine.
Just sort of perched
next to her.
You sort of. Do you sit down? You sort of just sit down next to her in the underbrush, or you stand up, or
crouch next to her.
You sort of you wearily crouch down, like the exhaustion still sort of wreaking havoc with your body, and you sort of get into position and are quite thankful that your armor is so light. You couldn't imagine trying to do this kind of stuff in these climates with any form of standard armor that you've previously trained with. A moment, probably about an hour into your watch, Azaka suddenly lifts her sort of left hand as if to alert you, sort of placing it in front of you, and she points ahead in the brush, and a low growl comes from directly ahead of you, probably only about 10 feet away.
Yep.
And
step back into the bubble.
Yep. And she just basically says, nods you away, sort of things like, good idea. As she, a moment later, out of the brush appears a very large feline, orange in colour with white splotches around its chest, black stripes across it. Your standard kind of tiger. It approaches her, and sort of you didn't notice at the time, but in her hand she produces like a small, a piece of dried meat that she must have had nearby. Which she keeps her eyes down. She doesn't sort of make eye contact with it, nor does she move really quickly, and she offers it in front of her. You watch it in amazement as this thing continues to stare at her, bearing its yellow fangs, getting, sort of only like a foot away from her as it approaches, before it sort of sniffs near her, and then sort of sniffs around her neck and her throat, coming ever so dangerously close to her, even to the point where it sort of prods her with its head. She sort of accepts the blow and just sort of rocks with it, doesn't fall over or anything like that, before the tiger snatches up the meat and dashes back into turns and sort of walks back under the foliage, and then you sort of see it a moment later sort of spring through the underbrush away from the camp. You see her take like an audible, or a physical sigh as like you see her shoulders rise, and then she lets out a a calming breath. And she says, quietly, she says, "It is safe to come back out."
Yeah, cool. Come back out. What's up with that?
She says, "The tigers in these lands have roamed these lands for generations. They know if you show them mutual respect, they will respect you in kind."
Yep.
Nothing.
Impressive.
Yep. Nothing else happens for the rest of the watch as your 2 hours ends. She says to you, she says, "No need to let the others know. They must rest. There is no need. I will keep watch. If someone wishes to help, that is fine. But regain your strength."
Yep, cool. Thank you. Call if you need anything.
She says, she nods, doesn't say anything else. Just keeps her eyes scanning the dense foliage again.
I walk off, and she goes, "Actually," and I'm just like,
Yeah. Oh, could you? Oh, never mind. I get it myself. Okay, so the rest of the watch goes without incident. You guys wake up feeling a hell of a lot better, and it's sort of mid-afternoon. When you guys all sort of come to, Azaka is nowhere to be found. She's not with the camp or anything like that. What do you guys want to do?
I will be investigating.
Yep. You wanna see if you can find any tracks, see where she went or anything like that?
Yep. See if Abu can get a scent.
Abu,
Abu, the hero.
the hero of Plot 90.
I will definitely be trying to look for scents.
Yep.
Tracks, anything. I will want to be finding her.
All right. Make a survival check in your favoured terrain. Boom. You know where she was perched, and you see a set of tracks leading into the foliage. Do you want to pursue, or do you want to go after?
Yeah, I'm gonna just let the group know. I'm gonna go track this. Are you guys happy to wait here for a day and a night? If I'm not back in a day and a night, I'm dead.
Okay.
"No, we're not. That's not okay."
Fair enough.
That's a terrible plan.
Well,
Wise
regardless-
man once
How about you-
said, "Don't
how about
split the party."
How about we try something different where we come after you before you die?
Okay, do we all want to go
What do you
track?
think about that? No.
Okay.
I'm just saying, I'm not waiting a day and a half to pronounce you dead.
As soon as Bull is out of sight, I'll
Places
be
to
like,
be.
"Oh well, that's long enough. I'm out of here."
Yeah, that's it. Places to be.
I'm not entirely sure how far you guys got to get without a guide or a ranger, but sure, we can try that. I'll find you.
All right. So let me ask again.
I
What
did
would the
make that
group like to do?
I did mean that in a. I don't want you gone that long because a day and a half's too late.
Yep.
It's a long time.
You could be a long way away in a day and a half. So
Okay.
let's make it like a few hours and then let us know how you're
let's-
going.
Go with.
She
Let's.
couldn't have gone that long.
She couldn't have been gone that long. So, how much? I'll peer to the up in the foliage to try and determine how long until night falls.
Yep. So it's probably sort of mid-afternoon now. You've probably got another 4 or 5 hours of solid light before it starts to dwindle.
So I'll suggest to the group that we go after. We follow her tracks until it becomes too difficult to do it easily.
All right. What do you say to that?
Yeah, I think we should probably stick together.
All right, let's go.
Okay. Aldair also is like for all intents and purposes, Aldair is not here tonight, so I'm going to forgo using him for anything else other than camping stuff. So,
Yeah.
So yeah, you guys set off. Bull is tracking the last known tracks of Azaka through the dense foliage, and
Yep. Still keeping an eye out for tigers,
yep.
explicitly.
You're able to move quite quickly through the underbrush, and it takes you a few hours. It takes you, basically a few hours before you come to a small clearing where the footprints. Basically, there's like a small river, like a creek, running through this clearing, and the footprints go up to the river, up to the creek.
How wide is the creek?
It's only 3 or 4 feet. It's flowing water, but it seems to be like an offshoot of maybe a larger area of water. You're not too sure.
Yep, so the tracks get lost on this side to the water. I'm going to cross over and I'll head upstream.
Yep, so as you cross over, do you recheck for tracks?
Of course, yeah. I'm heading upstream looking for tracks, trying to find the tracks again.
Oh, yep. So all around this area are more tiger tracks. And you determine that there are probably 6 or 7 unique tracks, depending on size and stuff like that. You do spot quite a large pair of feline tracks that have crossed over and are continuing through the jungle.
Are any of these tracks human?
No, all feline.
These are all upstream?
Yep. You seem to have lost any trace of human footprints.
Yep. Can I go backtrack and go downstream? A considerable way?
Yeah, so you make your way back. You continue heading down river, continuously looking for tracks. The only tracks you seem to find in this entire area are that belonging to tigers of various sizes. The only tracks that you're able to find of Azaka's leading to this point are the ones that you follow to the creek. How far away from the clearing do you want to sort of go? Do you want to?
Oh, a considerable, 200, 300, 400 feet.
Does anyone else do anything at this stage when Bull sort of starts looking around
wait?
for the different tracks?
You going to come back to us with what you find, or should we follow you?
No, I'm just going to quickly check. 400 feet's not that far. I'll quickly check and come back.
All right. Do you want to focus? Tell us what. Yeah, I need you guys to let us know what you're doing here.
Wait. See who's there, I guess.
Yeah, wait.
Wait for him to come back to us.
All right.
If we're heading in one direction, he wants to double back. We'll just wait where we are.
Yep.
Yeah.
Are you waiting? So you're waiting near the creek?
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
That's what I'm asking.
Close.
Like, I just
Yeah,
need
no.
to know where you guys.
That was a group, not you.
Oh.
Keeping an eye out for, anything, but that Bull do his tracking.
Perception check.
Yep, never mind.
That's all right. What did you want to say, Bull?
I was going to say, maybe consider not staying at the creek. It's a source of water. Animals will come to the creek.
Possibly.
Dinner.
Good. Wow, you guys are rolling like champions tonight. So Bull continues to follow the tracks. You guys all sort of sit back a bit while he. That's not too bad. Still, as a group, you guys did really well there. You guys all sort of sit down
9.
near the.
Fuck you.
All right, you fuckers. So you guys.
Payback.
You guys situate yourselves around the small creek, and Bull sort of goes off and starts checking for the tracks. He comes and he's gone a sizable distance away and then starts making his way back. But as you're sort of looking around this area, you notice that quite a large stone has been has recently looks like it's been recently moved. And it's only probably about 20 feet away from your position. Looks like it's sort of, there's like a...
How large is said stone?
Probably take 2 of you to sort of move it, or 1 Dragonborn.
Hi there.
Jeez.
Dragon Man, move stone, yeah.
Why do I need to move stone?
Because it's been moved recently.
Okay.
Push stone.
I'll push stone.
So you get your claws underneath it, you sort of lift it up, and underneath is quite a large cavity. like a deep sort of not probably sort of 3 feet, sort of 3 feet deep and maybe 2 feet wide. And this stone you sort of like heft up and move move it out of the way, revealing this cavity. Within it, you find 2 swords, a longbow and a quiver, and a leather armor and breeches.
Does it look like Azaka's?
You've seen these items before. You've seen Azaka's swords before. These are definitely Azaka's items.
Oh, jeez. She turned into a rock.
Azaka, is that you? Hello?
A knock on the rock. Anybody in there? No. Okay, is Bull with us?
He's sort of making his way back after backtracking at this point. You can see him in the distance. And Bull, you see the guys... You see Idrix... or you see the guys sort of congregate around this rock. And then you see Idrix basically heft it out of the way and sort of looking underneath it as you approach.
You missed the spot.
Yeah.
Oh, the tracks were nowhere near here, sort of thing. So you sort of kept on the tracks. Yeah, and as you return, you're all sort of standing around this concealed area, and you can see within definitely Azaka's belongings and backpack supplies and everything.
I suggest we find the most recent set of tracks and follow them.
They run out to water.
No, the most recent set of animal tracks.
Yep.
All right.
I'm in agreement with this.
Yep. So you take another sort of 15 minutes to sort of find the...
Could I...
Yep.
Oh, sorry.
Go on.
Could I make a suggestion? We leave something here to let her know if she comes back and then she goes back to the camp and then no one's there. Could we leave like a note here for her or something that we've come to look for her? Because it looks like she's willingly put her shit here, or
somebody's hidden it.
or somebody's hidden it. Which, yeah, I would think if you were trying to hide it, you'd more, I don't know, throw it in the water or something, not under a rock.
Come back for it later. I don't know.
Well, the creek's only like a foot deep, so it's not real deep water by any means.
I thought water here was like shit.
Oh, the water's it's running. It's a flowing creek, so it looks quite clear.
Don't drink it.
Also worth
Okay.
observing. Also worth observing that it took a dragon board to lift that rock.
Yeah, it's quite a large rock. It's probably about it's enough to cover the 3-foot gap, so it's quite large and
So,
flat.
like, I wouldn't be able to lift it.
You might be able to. You'd most likely struggle.
Oh, Azaka's pretty tanky, isn't she?
Yeah, she's quite muscular. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Cool. So I was going to say something put it under there, but she could have easily done it.
Yeah.
Let's go back.
Let's leave something as I don't have anything to write with, but I think that's a good idea.
Smarty Pants McWizard might have something.
Dick
He's
Wizard.
not here. We need you. Got it. You can't call on him.
Dick Wizard's not here. So I will take a
Get a knife, carve in the rock.
I've got something I can leave behind.
Yeah.
One of my potions of heroism.
They're not potions.
It's like a charm. It's like it gives you the effect of the potion, but it's not actually a physical
okay.
potion.
My apologies.
That's okay.
Can we just put like one of the what do you call it? It's the bloody the incense things,
Yeah,
and
yeah.
I'll just cast light on it, which lasts for an hour. So you have a glowing incense block
Underneath the thing. Yeah, that'd be fine.
on top of the
yeah, I'll take an incense block. Here we go. I'll take an incense block and I'll carve a quick replica of the King's brand, because everyone has seen that.
Yep.
And that way, it's not glowing from underneath the rock, and it will signal to whoever gets it. Only she would understand what that means, right?
Yep.
And the fact that something is there that she didn't leave behind before. But
Which way are we heading from here?
we're following the trail.
Yep. The the most recent tracks are also the also the largest. They head off. They're easily tracked back into the underbrush on the other side of the creek.
So that's east.
From where you are, yeah, it's right. It's like the way you've walked in, you've crossed over, and then they continue across the clearing. So the same
I was just
direction.
going to say, scratch east into it as well.
All right, and I'll put a
Yep.
little.
Yep. So you leave
I'll
a mark.
put a little E.
Which way we're going?
Yep. Awesome. Okay, so you're able to continue to track these tracks for another sort of like an hour or so, and I'll get you to make another survival check, please, Will. As you sort of nice. As you need to reacquire these tracks, you continue to do so, and you basically for about another hour or so you trek through until you come to. So you're about an hour away from the rock and the creek, and you come across another area that has like a small cave that seems to be built into the side of a shallow mound. The cave itself appears to be only about maybe 5 feet high, and sort of goes directly from the mound. It looks like it descends directly into the earth. There are dozens of tracks in this area.
Okay.
Are they all just heading in the one direction?
No, all different kinds of directions, but some do lead into the cave itself.
Ah, jeez. Are we're rested, aren't we, too?
Yeah, you're all good. Yep, you got everything back.
Get my slots back. Nice.
All right.
We're going in?
Yeah, I'll hold my shield up. No weapon yet.
Yep.
And slowly make my way forward.
All right.
I'll do the same, but
Standing
I'm gonna
behind the
be-
dragon board.
Yeah, I'm gonna do the same, but I'm gonna be sticking real close to someone because I can't see shit.
Yeah. It's as
As we go to move forward, I'll place your
You
hand
just
on my
push me.
shoulder.
Yep.
I'll place your hand on my shoulder and I'll creep forward behind my shield.
So due to the height of this cave, you'll actually have to duck down to get into it. It's not just it's like the Astrid's probably the shortest out of you guys, or maybe Bull, but even you guys have to sort of hunch down to get into this cave. But Barrett, as you approach from the gloom of the cave, you see 3 sets of glowing eyes peering back out of the cave, and 3 large tigers prowl out, hunched down and quite sort of low to the ground as they sort of begin to flank around the sides of you, one standing directly in the center towards you as 3 others begin to move around the rest of the group. What do you want to
I
Are they
didn't see-
making...
Go.
No, you go.
I didn't see the Azaka tiger display.
no,
before,
you
did I?
were
That-
you were
I
asleep.
was asleep. Yep, no worries.
Alright, well, at this then, I will,
We're going now.
yeah. I don't really want to fight tigers, since the last time there was a fight, it drew the undead. So I'll whisper. I'll just be like, everyone, slowly back up. Still holding my shield out in front of me.
Yep.
But slowly backing away from their hole. They really like their hole.
Okay, what does everyone else do?
Follow his lead.
Yep, might as well.
Do we have any meat products?
Or the rations the food that you carry are dried is like dried meat and stuff like that. The physical food that you carry.
Pocket bacon.
Damn it, I knew I shouldn't have kept that bacon in my pocket.
Do I give it a go? I don't know. Yeah, fuck it.
All right.
Can I grab a ration?
Yep.
And are they circling us looking threatening, or are they looking defensive? Well, like, how do I tell? Fuck,
Yeah,
it's impossible.
No. To sense the motive of the animal, you'd have to basically like do an animal handling check.
Yeah.
Can I have a crack at that when you're finished doing your thing?
You do it.
You can
do
both
it.
do it if you want. Anyone can do it if you want to try to figure out how it is.
Yeah, I would. Yeah, given that it's sensing threat, I would like to
Yeah.
make a check
I can go for it.
in that vein, even though I'm not really good at animal handling.
That's all right.
Hot damn!
There it is. Nice. Yeah, so you can see, like, this appears to, considering all the tracks in the area that you've sort of seen, and they're visible. They're not. A lot of this area around here isn't covered by any kind of foliage. It's just sort of dirt and rock. You can clearly see that this area is most likely some form of lair, and that, yeah, you've most likely encroached upon their territory. They're They would appear to be attempting to defend their territory.
Okay. Yeah, I'll go with it. I think I'm gonna pull a ration and slowly kneel down and just offer it out
Yep.
in a very flat hand.
Yep.
No fingers sticking out.
Yep. So you place the ration down before you, or you hold it in your hand?
In my hand.
Yep.
Hold it out in my hand.
Yep. All right. So you lower yourself down. You hold it in your...
Based on what Azaka and I
Yep.
spoke about during the...
So you mimic. You watched her movements, and you basically mimic what she does. Motion for motion, even keeping your eyes low, not making eye contact. And the two flanking tigers stop about 20 feet away from you guys on either side, crouched low, ready, like looking like they could potentially pounce at any sort of moment. They're not doing the bum wiggle yet, so you're safe. But every cat does it. It's hilarious. Yeah. The one in front of you again sort of comes up to you, and you can, like, as it gets closer, it doesn't. It sort of does this low guttural sort of growl, not loud, but you just hear it sort of like rumbling in its throat. Its breath, it gets close enough that you can feel the heat of its breath even in this hot climate, and there's like the stench of like flesh on its breath. Its yellow fangs sort of protruding. It basically lays a clawed paw upon your hand and scratches the ration out of your hand, drawing a deep line of like sort of blood from your palm. I'll get you to make a Constitution saving throw.
Ah, jeez.
That's all right.
Jungle
You
AIDS.
have a
Jungle, no. You it hurts, and you are able to resist the urge to flinch or pull away as you
Nice.
as the blood sort of begins to pool in your hand, and you sort of just slowly close up your hand over it as the large tiger sort of takes the ration and moves away. A few bites before sort of setting it aside, and it sort of motions to the other two tigers, who begin to sort of like, that sort of makes like a guttural growl, and suddenly they begin to again sort of growl in return, and two more other tigers come out from the cave, flanking the one that you just had the interaction with. These ones sort of pounce out sort of quickly, then stop, and it's so you're facing now 5 tigers. Each of them sort of take up more positions, and you get I'll get a survival check from you. No, sorry, I'll get an animal handling check from you, and no good. They're all sort of crouched down.
Shouldn't really wear spandex.
Yep, and you don't you sort of. It's kind of confusing as to what they're attempting to do next, before suddenly the large one that sort of took the ration from you, it roars, and the other 4 pounce. Roll initiative. Now, we don't have any tokens here, so give me a second. And
Yeah, I tried.
no, you did great, man.
Oh, damn it. I didn't click it. Oh, fuck.
Oh, there's no token to click, so I don't think you can.
I'm almost on the
We're
jungle
still on
map,
the old map, so we've still got our tokens here.
Ah, right.
but it's not, yeah, mine's not in the tracker.
So, Barrett's appeared on this one.
Yeah, because he clicked it.
Alright, hang on a second. I'll drag this back over.
So click your character on the other thing, roll the button,
I'll just, yeah, no, I'll
and
just
then
change
type it in
Yeah.
manually.
That's good. Yeah.
Ah, good. Good. Thank
Ah.
you, guys.
They've all just disappeared.
That's alright. I'll...
And so did the initiative order.
no, I've still got it here. I will
Clear,
add...
clear on our side.
Ah, right. So you were doing the water and stuff on the
That's
short
right.
map.
Yep.
We were on the other map still.
That's okay. What'd you get, Astrid?
10.
Okay.
10 for me, 13 for Bernice.
Yep,
if
saw
she's-
that popped up. Bull, Idrix, and Barrett. Okay.
7.
Yep. And I'll just send those. Alright. The tigers all attack. They all get a round of... they've basically sort of surprised you guys. As they pounce before you guys. Oops, I don't want that so big. I don't want it so
Ah,
small.
I've got a tracker, but it's just me. That doesn't matter. I
Yep, that's
guess.
okay. I can see everyone. You can only see yourself, I think. So
Yeah, that's cool.
I don't understand why it does that.
I can just see Astrid.
That's okay. I've got I've got Bull at 18, Idrix at 17, Bernice at 13, Astrid at 10, Barrett at 7. Sounds about right.
Yep.
All right, cool.
Yeah, my one was right.
Okay, so the tigers on the side come rushing in at you guys. The first one attacks Idrix.
It has advantage because I'm blinded as well.
Aren't we still outside?
You're still outside, and it's
Are we?
sort of twilight.
We're
You're
outside.
not. You're
I thought
not.
we were
It's
still
not.
on the inside.
No. You didn't make it in there. The tigers come out, so you're okay.
Sweet.
18
Hit.
hit. You take 11 slashing damage, and I'll also get you to make a strength saving throw. You are knocked prone as the massive cat lands on top of you, knocking you to the ground. It then tries to lunge upon you, and with its bite, and rolls a 15.
That'll hit.
That'll hit. You take an additional 9 piercing damage. Okay. The next one comes at you, Barrett. And again, runs in from the side and rolls a 14.
Miss.
Yep, you're able to deflect the attack. You
Mainly
get-
because I've got my shield out
yeah,
already.
you get your shield up in time, and you're able to you hear the raking of the claws down the other side of the shield as you get it up above your face just in time. Okay, next one comes at you, Bull. $13.
I don't know how to work out if it's a hit or a miss.
Okay,
What's your armor class?
17.
Miss.
that's a miss.
Oh. Okay.
Yep. So your new armor, your ability to dodge, your nimbleness, you're able to get out of the way of the claws in time. Bernice comes under fire. She has her shield also. Uh, 17 to hit Bernice. I think she's okay. I think she's got 19 AC. Let me double check real quick.
18. She's
18.
good.
She's good. Thanks. Again, she gets her shield up in time, reaching for her hammer in the process. And the last two, is that 1, 2, 3? No, the last, yeah, the
That's
last.
5.
There's 5. 2 more came out of the cave.
Yep.
The last 2 come for you, Astrid. All right, let's go.
They know you've got the pocket bacon.
You got the pocket bacon.
I don't. I gave it away.
I rolled
damn
a
it.
6, so you're fine. Second one, an 8. You are fine, sir. So both of the tigers come pounce upon you, and you nimbly and far quicker than someone wearing the kind of armor you do is able to stand up and maneuver yourself in such a way that you take no damage. All right, we're back at the top of the initiative. Bull, it is your turn.
Okay. Hold on a second, and we're going for this one. Wait, did it link?
Nothing yet.
Might take a sec.
Well, yeah,
No,
mine's-
I click. Okay, I'll cast at what level?
Oh, yep.
Oh.
So,
6. I'm 6. So,
No.
No. It's spell slot level.
Spell slot level.
ah,
yep.
One
So I
probably
think
at your
you've
level.
got level 2 spells now, I think. Let me double check your character sheet spells. Okay, so you've got 2 level 2 spell slots, and you've got 4 level 1 spell slots. So you can cast it at a level 2, or you can cast it at level
1.
1.
Yep, I'll just go level 1. Sorry.
All right. Yeah, no worries, man.
And make a melee attack.
Yep. So
Yep, and then I'll do my melee. Let's go back to the core and go this one first.
Yep. So that definitely hits.
Yep.
So you do 4 damage, and you also do. If you cast this spell using a higher spell slot of second level or higher, the damage increases by 1d6 for either.
But he
That's
cast it
what
at
it's
level 1.
It marked level 1.
Oh, cool.
Or
Sorry.
strain
And
this
the damage
spell
is
target
at
takes.
damage at the start of their turn, not
Yeah.
during. The...
Okay, so but I need to make a strength saving throw.
Yeah.
Versus.
At the start of your turn.
Okay, cool. Not a
Well,
problem.
no,
it's
he
the-
makes
the-
he makes the save
Make this
now, but yeah.
save now.
I rolled a 8. So the tiger suddenly, as you strike, the tiger vines creep up from the ground and restrain the beast.
Yep.
As it
And
yep.
Nice.
am I able to swing my other weapon, or do I get a spell in one strike?
So you use a bonus action to cast a spell, allowing you to still make 2 attacks.
Ah,
So
sweet.
you get a second attack, and this one will be at advantage. That's a hit, because you're attacking a restrained target. I think that works. That's what it is. And you do an additional 7, so for a total of 11 damage. You attack this tiger who suddenly becomes ensnared in these thorny vines. Nice work.
Yep, that's it.
Yep. Idrix, you're up.
I'm gonna start by am I grappled or am I just on the ground?
You're just on the ground. You're not grappled.
I'm gonna start by raging.
Yep.
And then going after this fuck that threw me on the ground.
So you stand up and attack back.
Yeah.
No worries. Do it.
Damn.
That's a hit.
Close.
Sure.
Yeah, just. Yep. So, yep, not a problem. You land a severe blow to this tiger, drawing a long line of blood along its flank.
And another attack.
Yep.
Is that including your rage damage?
No, it's not. Add 2 to that.
And so it's 12. Yep. 16 is a hit.
I actually set up separate weapons
And
for
another
raging.
2 to that. Yeah,
Yep.
so did I. I just forgot to do it now.
That's all right.
Oh,
Is that one got your rage?
No.
No. Okay, so 12. and
21.
9 makes 21. Thank you very much. Yep. So yeah, you deal 2 attacks to that one. Do you have your second weapon out, or do you have to draw them one at a time?
I'll have my second weapon out. I have
You got dual wielder.
dual wielder.
Yep. So that's your 2 attacks. You've got a bonus attack to still make.
I rage.
Oh, thank you. Thank you very
raged.
much. Yeah. So you you cut 2 massive slashes across this beast, causing it to like roar out in pain quite loudly,
This one has the ire of my ancestors as well.
which means it.
If it attacks anyone else, it's with disadvantage.
All right, good stuff. Bernice stands up and goes to fend off the nearest tiger, pulls out her hammer and attacks. I don't know if I've got... I keep forgetting to set her sheet up. Let me see that
Serious
sheet.
one.
Hey, there it is. Warhammer. 12 meets.
Cool.
And she does 8 bludgeoning damage to the
Feel the
tiger.
burn.
She casts Branding Smite as a bonus action. She's supposed to do it beforehand, but I'll just do it for a bit of flavour. Searing Smite. And where are you? She casts
It's in
it-
there. Just
Yep. Okay, so she does an additional... start of each turn, 1d6.
Oh, 1d6, yeah.
Yep, so she rolls an extra d6 damage.
And that guy's to take a con save at the start of his turn.
Causing a 3 additional damage. So she does 11 damage in total, and the beast's fur begins to flicker and light up. Like smouldering. That's cool. Tiger's turn. Okay. Let's go. Barrett, you get attacked by Le Tiger. And with a claw attack. 15.
Miss.
Oh. And the next one attacks Bull. Attacking now. I rolled a 7, so that's definitely a miss.
Yep.
Astrid, your turn.
I think I might just throw down Spirit Guardians. Yeah, fuck it.
Spirit Guardians? Yep.
Yeah. I'll cast it at level 3 and did nothing came up. Is it a... Oh, it's a stealth action. That's okay. Yeah, so Core Force Spirits at 15-foot
Mhm.
diameter.
Yep.
No, radius.
Radius. Yep.
Yeah. So they're angelic spirits, and I designate the group as unaffected.
Yep. Perfect.
So half speed for all your tigers,
Right.
and when they enter the area for the first time on a turn or start their turn, they have to make a whiz saving throw
Or take damage.
or take 3d8 or half of 3d8 if they save.
Nice. Fuck, that's heaps.
Gross. I love it.
Okay, so that's at the start of their turns.
Yeah.
Yep. All right. So from where you're positioned, like the guys are all relatively close to you. So there's like 3 of the tigers are in immediate range. 2 of them being directly on you, and 1 off to the side. So
Okay,
you're
cool.
the total hit 3 easily.
Yeah. How far is the furthest tiger? Is the group quite spread out?
I'd imagine that they'd be relatively close. So they're like sort of one is probably out of the 5, only one of them's not being affected by it.
Yeah.
So yeah,
Okay.
that's that. And if the group was to consolidate a little bit closer, like move in, you'd have no trouble with coverage.
Is the spell
It's a Nova. so
centered?
centered on-
Nova. Yeah. Okay, that's fine.
All right. So the two
No bonus.
no bonus. Sorry, mate. You're all done.
Nah, I can't. Well, it's a bummer. I've got lots of bonus actions with all spells.
Yep.
So, yeah.
Yep.
Can't really do the spell.
That's okay. So tiger time, and the two tigers that are on you are going to take some wisdom saves. First one,
Wise as a tiger. Wise as a tiger, isn't that a song?
I rolled a 5, so that takes, what'd you say, 3d8 damage?
3d8. Oh, do you want to roll them?
Yeah, no, you roll them, mate. All yours. Oh, that's all right. 5 damage, and any
Opposite of last week.
yeah, I know. Any other effect, or is it just the damage?
Just half speed. They're all at half speed.
All right. Due to
While they're in the area.
due to the brilliance of the light and everything like that, this tiger will disengage and move away from you, sort of bewildered by this radiant light.
Oh yeah, should have as a bonus action. I should have said, "Rally to me."
Rally to me. That's a free action.
Yeah. You want me to roll another one for the?
Yep. Oh, hang on. I'll roll the wisdom save. You can roll your damage.
Oh, yeah, sorry.
Oh, I got a critical on that one. 21.
Okay.
So-
So you're going to
so
say that round
6.
down 6.
Yep. So he takes 6, but he also does the same thing. He basically or she basically like disengages and steps away from the light that is hurting them, basically. The others in tow appear to be sort of cowering now as this light pulsates from Astrid. The two others, yep. Let me roll 2 more saves. 1. 17. What's your DC?
15.
Okay, so this one's going to take half damage as well. If you want to roll this one.
Eight.
So that was the one that Idrix was fighting, and that was enough to. Oh no, just not
Eight.
enough. Yep. Yeah, so that one takes another scalding hit as it basically again disengages and moves well away, like moving right to the edge. And the last one, 15. So meets. So that is half damage as well. Where'd you go? Nice. So another 7 damage. Again, same deal. The creature's being affected by this strange light, responding in sort of bewilderment and fear as they sort of step back and start prowling around the edges, giving you about 20 feet of distance from the light. Out from the cave steps another tiger. This one appears to be completely white, with with piercing blue eyes, and
Name boss.
and it basically lets out a massive sort of roar, and from behind you, leaps through the underbrush, running up like very close to you and leaping ahead of you. Leaps another tiger that appears to be completely black, almost like a panther, but you can tell it's more of a tiger just due to the way the fur is shaped and the actual size of this thing. And it is massive, almost as large as the white one ahead of them, and it lets out an equally challenging roar. And I'll give this one to you for free. You notice that your spell is not affecting it.
Oh, cool. That's good. Because I kept a designate at the start of the cast. So.
Well, you said your companions, yep? That was
Yeah,
your-
yeah.
Yep.
Oh, right.
So the
Sad.
as the two roars sort of go off, the jungle as the roars echo into the distance, the jungle falls basically like quiet as every other sound around you begins to fade away and stop. the black tiger sort of starts to nudge against you, Astrid, trying to like walk backwards almost through you, like sort of nudging you backwards.
Pushing me back.
What do you guys want to do?
Back it up, I guess.
Well, it's up
Offer
to
some
you.
food. No, just kidding.
It's your game. I'm just here describing shit.
Alright, I'm gonna leave my my particular target stuck in the vines.
Yep.
And I'm gonna go stand next to the black tiger.
Do you relinquish your spell, or do you
No,
just leave it?
it remains in the vines for the time being,
Alright.
restrained.
All right.
And I'm gonna have my weapons out, standing next to the
Yep.
black tiger. But I'll take a seat. If it's backing up, I'll back up with it. But I want to be next to it
Yep.
to back black tiger up against the white tiger.
Yep. So yep, as you guys back away, you sort of able to move away. The rest of the tigers sort of consolidate back around this massive white tiger, and you're able to basically get to the edge of the clearing before the black tiger turns its back upon the others and leads you back through. Well, it starts walking back through the jungle, back towards the way you came. You guys follow it out, or what do you want to do?
Yeah, I'll follow that, but keeping an eye on behind me.
Yeah. Same thing.
And I'll release my vines on the.
Yep. Yeah, the
I'll
last
have
thing.
the-
Sorry, go on.
I was going to say I'll have my sword in sheath, but I'll be ready to
Yep.
draw.
It. The last thing you see, Bull, before you relinquish the vines, and you see it sort of get up, shake off the thorns and the brambles, and return back with the others as well. As you sort of leave the brush, you start moving away. The black tiger starts to pick up a bit of pace, moving at like a trot back through the underbrush towards the creek, the way you came. And as you start to like sort of make ground, the tiger suddenly elongates and begins to and basically stands up on 2 feet instead of 1, and the creature sort of turns to face you, now standing quite taller than nearly all of you, probably Idrix's height, because he's pretty tall, and a guttural but familiar voice steps forward and says, comes forward and says, "You should have waited back at the camp. I wouldn't have been too long." And it's clearly Azaka.
Maybe you should have told us what you're doing.
I point to him.
What?
She says,
I didn't get to attack anything, so I'm going to fight something now. So no, I'm just joking. I'm joking.
We're in a jungle full of undead. We jump to conclusions.
She says, you would have been quite safe where you were. I was taking steps to make sure you didn't transgress upon the tiger's territory any further than what we had. And she lowers her eyes. She says, "You are right. I should have trusted you. I should have told you. But this secret is mine, and now it is also yours." And she sort of turns around and says, "We should get moving. Let's get back to camp." And she sort of she stays in a bipedal form, and she makes her way through the jungle. Within about another sort of 40 minutes, you make it back to the creek, and she collects her gear before basically turning like right in front of you without any sort of modesty or anything like that. She turns back into a human female and easily picks up the rock like with one hand, and gets her gear out from underneath the rock and redresses and says, "This place will be we can leave in the morning, or we can press on through the night. It is up to you. What would you like to do?" We will not
Well,
be
I've already
bothered
had a
any
rest,
further.
so
You've been on your feet now for probably about 4.5 hours.
I can move for a little while.
But
Let's make some use of today.
Bernice offers some healing around to help those out who take a bit of damage.
I wouldn't mind spending the afternoon, evening, just at least trying to get our bearings because we're still lost technically.
Did anyone take damage?
I did.
Oh yeah.
Yep, so Bernice is able to fix you up with some curative spells over the course of like a few, sort of 30 seconds. She applies 3 or 4 curative incantations upon you, and your wounds close and mend.
Much appreciated.
She says, "Oh, not to worry." Azaka says, "This." She's at you sort of saying we don't know where our bearings are. She says, "We have travelled south further than what we had originally intended. We are very close." She says, "This water, this creek, flows into a larger basin known as Atar's Kalaka, or the Valley of Death." She says, "We are but 2 days from there." And
Wasn't that the no-go zone?
it's not too bad. Basically, you guys are there. And she says, "It is entirely up to you if you should wish to rest, or we can continue south."
Let's continue south.
Let's try and get in a bit more trouble.
All right.
Yep.
So, all right, let's do this. So you guys pack up your belongings, get everything back together, and you make... Does anyone else want to say anything, or do you want to just keep travelling?
While we're traveling, I want to ask Azaka a few questions,
Yep, go for it.
but I'm happy to do that later if you want.
No, do it now, man. Let's, so you guys set off south, and...
We all want to do it, so you may as well.
Okay, fair enough. So just in my quiet way, just ask. So, how about that black tiger?
She sort of smirks and says, "Yes, it is. I have been this. I have been this way since birth."
And where was your birth?
She says, "I was born in a pride that dwells about 20 days out of Port Nyanzaru, close to Firefinger."
Okay, cool. When?
She says, "I am 34 years old. I have been this way all my life."
Fair enough. That's all the questions I need. I'm not going to pry.
As you guys are walking together, she says, "You two, you amongst all your companions, have the prowess of a hunter. You move more than I have seen any mortal move. It is true that you have the spirit of the great hunter within you."
And coming from someone like you, that's a very, very deep compliment, and I appreciate that greatly.
She says, "Do you know of the god Malar?"
I do.
She says,
he's mine.
She says, in our culture, Malar is worshipped not as an evil entity, but one of natural purpose and change, one who brings food to the pack and food to those who need it, but also roots out the weak and makes sure that only the strong and those willing to fight and hunt survive. You seem to share the same traits as we do."
Yep, nature and balance makes up the core of my being, and this philosophy matches with Malar's pretty well, in my opinion. I think we have a lot in common.
She says, "The spirit of Malar rests strong in you. Perhaps one day you'll be rewarded with his blessing."
I could only hope so. But right now, it's enough to serve my mistress.
She says, "In doing so, you also serve the Lord of the Hunt. We will talk again."
Yep, and I quietly nod.
So so these guys are sort of positioned up ahead of the group as they're navigating their way through the jungle. They talk in quiet, hushed tones. If you guys wish to sort of listen in or chime in on that, you'll need to roll me some perception checks to hear what they were saying. Otherwise, you just leave them to their devices. You catch a bit. You definitely hear the word Malar mentioned a few times. Same as you, Barrett.
Pretend to know who that is.
You hear things like, hunt, basically, yeah, Lord of the Hunt, God, Malar. They seem to be conferring quite closely, so you don't catch it all. That goes for all three of you, basically. You don't catch the finer details of anything that they sort of say, just generic bits and pieces. Does anyone else want to speak to Azaka?
I don't know. Out of character, I think
Yep.
Barrett might have an issue what she suspects.
Yep.
Zaka is.
So from where Barrett's
Yes.
from, you would have seen things like werewolves and
Yes.
and were-boars.
Yeah.
And were-jackals and like all the kinds of really sort of nasty lycanthropes, basically the ones that
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking, because that
yeah.
werewolves and stuff
Yeah.
are not.
And that's the thing, like lycanthropy in the better part of the world, not the better part, but the like Faerun, for example, isn't really is a disease. It's kind of frowned upon. So yet Azaka seems to, one, she hasn't torn any of the throats out or anything like that, but you're not too sure how it's treated here. But yes, I would imagine that Barrett would have quite an affront to it, or have a kind of a less than positive reaction.
Yeah, I think it was to play like that. So Barrett was trying to hear what was going on, but is not really interested in conversing
Yep.
with somebody like that at the moment.
Yep.
Yeah, no. So I'll take rear guard, move to the back away from the potentially evil person.
Yep, not a problem. Idrix or Astrid, do you guys want to...
Sorry,
So wait.
how'd it happen?
How'd it happen?
Yeah, I'm just gonna be like straight out.
She says, do you mean my... She says, it happened, I was born this way. I have known nothing but this life. I was
Do I
not...
hear any of this with a 10?
Well, when Idrix sort of just flat out says it, like, she's not... She sort of falls back into the group a bit and sort of talks to you guys as you're walking along, having... Bull sort of takes the lead.
Specifically relating to Malar?
If you want to ask more questions about it, yeah, she basically she gives you the spiel that her people worship Malar, and that Malar in her culture is one of is a provider, basically, and a way to have the weak separated from the strong. It's kind of like a natural order kind of deal. They hunt. Her people are from an area close to Firefinger, and that they hunt in prides and packs. They hunt other creatures. They don't. Her pride in particular have been guides and helpers of the natives of Chult for generations. She explains that she's following basically in her father's footsteps, and her mother's before that, and her father's before that. The area that they're from, or the area that they were from, near Firefinger, was wiped out by the Terror folk.
Is that why she wants to return?
She says, yes, that is exactly why. They have a relic of my people, something sacred to them, and I wish to reclaim it. To put the spirits of my people at rest.
What kind of a relic?
She says it is a mask, and it is very very sacred to my people.
Sweet. 5 fingers.
Yeah, Firefinger is up.
5 finger.
She like on your map, she points it out. It's around here. Yep.
Oh, yeah, I see there. Yeah. Ooh.
Some distance away. But
Maybe on the way back.
Shit
Well,
fight
she-
between here and there.
she says the quest you are on, your quest is now my quest, and if our path takes us there, then so be it.
Cool. Well, my experience with
I'm satisfied.
limited experience with followers of Malar, because they're not exactly advertising.
Yep. So yeah, your
Is it
limited
there?
experience would be that they're evil.
Quite treacherous.
Yep,
But
absolutely.
happy to be proven wrong
Um,
based on deeds.
yes.
I think Astrid's at a point now where it's very like, the shit's just different here. I just have to deal with it.
Yep.
Like I'm not surprised by anything.
Mm-hmm. I neglected to add our other followers in, but they're basically sort of kind of silent with all this sort of stuff going on. Artists and Dragonbait basically offered no sort of no insights or anything to tonight's events. They've just basically kept themselves very quiet and sort of away from them. Anything involving
It just keeps making me hungry.
this stuff, yeah, that's right. It smells of all this good shit. Along the way, the artist does add in, though, when it comes to Malar, he basically confirms your suspicions, Astrid, that on the mainland, Malar is seen as nothing more than a promoter of chaos and violence.
Yeah, incapable of treachery.
Yep, he
from
does.
what I-
Yeah, he points out. He says, however, since the spell plague, which was some 300 years ago, he says the order of things changed, and the god Malar now serves another Fae. He is no longer the lord of his own realm. Perhaps this has something to do with the way these people are.
Maybe send a message to the mainland and let all his followers know
Yes.
that he's not evil anymore.
He says it is often the curse of the gods that it is not the deeds of the gods that are remembered, but the deeds that are passed down in the names of them. He says people are our own worst enemies.
Cool. Well, I don't trust Malar, but I trust Azaka.
He says, yes, from the short time I've known her, she has proven to be an invaluable ally. Okay, so I'll get you, Bull, to make a survival check as you guys continue south.
I headed to the red.
I don't know what that red dot is actually, so I'm going to get rid of it.
What's many red dots?
So,
That's not the best roll.
No,
Yeah.
that was where we were attempting to navigate toward.
I knew that.
So it was there last year.
Give me a sec. I'll pop it back.
That's why it was pink, because I drew it.
Boop. Now it's blue. Blue, no yellow.
So our idea was that we head to the water and skirt the water down.
So while we're here as well, I also opened up the map around the Aldani Basin and stuff like that. That was the view from Mabala was basically that. Yep. Okay. So
Indicator accurate, so we're off to we're heading southeast.
yep. So you're heading, yeah. So you want to head to there next. I don't think
We hope.
that cuts the mustard. Let me double check. Gone blank. Expedition begins. Travel distances. Tracking miles. Navigation. Okay, so you're moving at a standard pace. You rolled a 13 on your check. That means you basically lose your way again.
I say we fire the ranger out of a cannon.
At the
I've got to
sun.
start putting guidance on you before you do that roll.
Oh yeah, definitely, man. We can definitely work
I
that
just
in.
keep forgetting I've got it.
Well, do it now. So guidance gives you what, an extra D4?
Yeah. What does he need? Oh, that's-
15's the number.
So if I get a 2, we're good.
Yep.
I
Yep.
get a 4.
Cool. All right. Stay on course.
Teamwork.
Yay!
All right.
So
So
it's all me.
you're able to move down to the southeast. Did you say? Yep.
Yep.
Well, yeah, we're heading. Which is the best way to go to get to the dot?
All right.
So I
So,
mean-
Well,
mean,
we
we
already
can
know
already
that.
set
So the reason we determined there was if we head to the water, we can keep the water on one side of us as we trek down, therefore reducing the chances of getting completely fucking
Jump
lost.
from. I see what you mean. Follow the river.
Yeah, we'll follow the lake system. That is.
so you're on the. You kind of got a glimpse of the. You're up quite high, peering down into the basin at certain points, and you do get a glimpse of, like, you can see across the way on a clear day. You can see the heart of Ubtao just like looming in the distance, some distance away. It's sort of across that way. It just sort of hangs there in the.
Is it the red?
It's just
Skull, or is it
it's
just in that
just
area?
near it there,
Okay.
where the thingo is. You can hear, like, you do.
Dungeon raid.
You do on occasion get large sort of like wafts of like pungent gas that seems to be coming up from the basin, and on the odd occasion you'll get like quite a small swarm of insects or sort of come up out of the basin and assail you guys. The repellent does its job in keeping them at bay, and you're not overcome by them. Okay, so keep another check, please, Bull.
Yep.
So that's 1 repellent. You can add D4. Oh, this is not going to save you.
D4.
Jesus.
Oh, it doesn't fucking matter.
Alright.
Steve. Fuck.
What are we critically lost?
We end up in Neverwinter. Oh shit!
We're in the ravine now.
Yep. Okay. Dice roll.
Just got off a boat.
I need an adult.
Maybe we should put some proper pants on.
Just cutting off the circulation.
Okay. Roll another survival check, please, Bull. As another day passes, that's 2. That's better. You reassert. You realise that you've sort of been turned around, and you're back. You're actually up north by 1. You take a day to get your bearings and continue south. Roll another one. That's good. Roll another. That's good.
That's better. It's in
Right.
this- in the zone.
Roll one more. Yep. That's 5. It's 6. Ev, you want to guidance that? Yep. 7.
Yep.
Oh, do it.
Come
Clutch, clutch.
Yes!
What teamwork?
That's 8. Ev, we need another one. Go, Astrid, go.
Needed 2 or more.
Come on, and come on.
No pressure.
Oh yeah, easy.
Oh,
Nine.
that's the D4 of crit.
That's a crit of crits. 10. And I'll award the crit with 2 days
We made it.
travel.
Oh nice.
So you don't have to roll it for 2 days. Right.
Yeah.
You make
Am
it.
I able to scour for food throughout that entire exercise?
Yep. So part of your thing is that while you're tracking, you can forage for food. If you want to replenish some food and water, you replenish, we'll say, 3 days worth. On top of, because Astrid's also providing food to
Food.
the group, and
On non-combat days.
yep. And you also lost 7 lots of repellent, so you're down to 74 to 67, I think. Yep, that's right. Yep. Yep. Okay, and you make it to that square that you're after.
We definitely won't want to come back this way if we're out of repellent, because that was a high infestation zone.
Um,
Yeah, we're in one now. Just.
You get to this point, and Artis basically says, "Not too far from here, we spotted a curious sight some many days ago. Items of blue fabric splayed across the jungle canopy. It's relatively close to this area. Do you recall seeing anything like that?"
What was it? Blue fabric.
Yep. Splayed across the jungle canopy. If you guys want to roll me history checks, please, I'll tell you if you do remember what you saw when you were at Mabala.
Any chance we can convince our Necro to roll history? That's normally his thing.
No.
History.
God damn it.
I only need one
Bloody
high.
Necro.
There it is. Okay, so while you guys were at Mabala, you had a vista of a fair amount of this jungle terrain. Off in the distance, some distance from Mabala, in this area, there was basically there was like a coverage over the jungle canopy that looked quite alien. It shouldn't have really been there. I think Artis is saying that he saw a similar thing while he was at. He saw the vision of a similar thing while he was at Orolunga.
Well, we've got to head that way anyway. So, yeah, I
Yep.
think I will suggest us saying
It's an anomaly in the jungle. Let's go and
we
investigate.
should. Yeah, we should. We're looking for the ruins anyway. We should take this opportunity on our path to ensure we're fully aware of the situation.
Yep, cool.
Interesting.
I
thing
follow
to
your
find.
lead.
Yeah, and I'm going to ask Azaka if she knows anything about this.
She says, only what I saw on Mabala as well. I'm not too sure what it is. As you break out for the rest of the day, you start moving towards that direction. You're moving through the jungle, and you come across a massive, sort of like roughly hewn clearing, probably about 40 feet, 50 feet in a rough diameter, where the trees have just been felled and placed around this area, sort of in like a rough kind of circle. I'll get you guys to make perception checks real quick.
Yeah,
Bang,
I think
bang.
you're right.
The trees appear to have been hewn by like quite a large sort of like axe kind of weapon, but you'd notice that it looks like it's not like repetitive cuts from a single axe. It looks like these massive trees have been hewn in like 2 or 3 strikes, even though you couldn't wrap your arms around these trees. Basically, they're massive. Artis suddenly sort of takes stock of the area, starts looking around, and in the center of this area is a large campfire, almost like a bonfire actually, that would be like like a massive pyre basically.
Okay.
Is this like Idrix? Is this? Could you slice through tree trunks like this?
These trees that are felled, like some of them are like 40, 50 feet high. They're huge trees, and they've been placed around a circle around this massive pyre that has burned out. And you can basically see that there's like remnants of like carcasses of dinosaurs that have been placed on it and things like that.
Can I cast detect giant? Is that a thing? Giant's a thing. I don't know about.
What does your elf senses see, Ranger? What can they do again?
I can detect humanoids, but I don't know if giants are even a thing. Are they a thing in D&D?
Oh yeah.
Okay, cool.
They're their own.
Are they a humanoid?
No, they're not.
No,
No,
they're
they're their own. They're their own species.
Scratch that. Never mind.
I thought you had primeval awareness. I thought that was something. Guess not.
We just lost history.
Yeah, Lee's dropped out. He's just rebooting, I think.
Who has?
No.
The Lee.
Ah, shit.
Idrix has dropped.
Ah, okay. I don't get alerts because I'm in the middle of the stream. I'll wait for him to get back. So. Alright, so we'll wrap up pretty soon, guys. So we've probably only got about another 5-10 minutes worth of stuff here.
Huzzah.
Is he back? Back, buddy?
He's in the channel.
Yeah, I know, but he's not talking. I'm just waiting for him to check in.
Eldritch Sight? No.
Idrix, I know he's muted now.
Oh yeah.
Unmute.
It's okay.
Wisdom check. Wisdom.
Alright, he should be able to hear us, so I'll continue on just so we can wrap up.
Yeah, I can hear you. I'm just on the phone.
Alright, bud. No worries. So you guys start looking around and you notice all this like sort of stuff sort of set up. Bull, you do a survival check for me. Anyone else who's proficient, if they want to check this area out or make proficiency checks.
Survival, no.
Okay. This is stuff that you haven't really seen before, but you can. The only thing you can determine from it that whatever made this is not your standard size. Like the axe cuts or the sword cuts, whatever's felled these trees, looks like it's only taken 2 or 3 swings to get through these massive trees, and they've arranged them in such a way that looks like they've created like a seating area around this huge pyre. But giants or not, you're not too sure. Like you can't sort of make the guess.
Does it look like a camp? Like a giant
Yes,
camp?
it definitely does.
Right.
Yep, I'll give you that for free.
Right.
Artis, the other thing as well is Artis basically, he seems to be quite worried, and Dragonbait is exuding his ham smell.
Pocket bacon.
Nope.
Can we hear anything?
No, it's the eerie part about this whole area is that it is actually dead quiet. Yet again, the sounds of the jungle appear to be just gone.
Can I cast my gloomberries, please?
Your what? Sorry,
My gloom. Oh, I'll just cast it. Hold on a second.
Goodberry.
Oh God, hold on. Gloomberries. My apologies. Does that
Why-
work?
It's why do you want to heal?
No, I just want to see if the spell works. Where we are.
Oh, right. Yeah. So you cast a spell and the magic works fine.
Cool. Thank you.
Can I have a berry?
And yeah, sure you can. Why not? I'll give a few to a boo. Anyone else want a berry?
Thanks, friend.
Berries are good.
With rolls like yours.
Dragonbait pops out a hand,
Yep, you can have one.
and he
No worries.
he pops one into
Skittles.
his mouth.
Bull Skittles. Got it.
As he eats it, he briefly exudes the scent of lemon before going back to smelling like ham.
Ham lemon. Southern delicacy.
So I'll approach this great extinguished fire carefully, and looking for, and then asking our resident tracker to see if he can detect any tracks, new tracks, old tracks.
Yep. Azaka starts doing the rounds as well, especially when did I say Azaka then? Yes, Azaka starts going around the area. She seems quite perturbed by what she sees as well, and again, Artis is just sort of, him and Dragonbait are just sort of looking quite sort of worried at one another in the center of all this. Azaka says, large footprints lead off to the southwest in the direction that we were traveling. She says, at least 4 sets of these giant prints.
Do they look humanoid or do they look bestial?
Well, you sort of move over to where she's pointing, and then you sort of jump down into a small like divot, and then a moment later you realize that you're standing in one of the prints, and it is a massive boot-like shape.
Okay.
Quite large.
I'm going to ask Artemis why are you so nervous?
He says,
I'm not familiar with this place. Fill me in quickly. Do it now.
He says, he sort of takes your forward approach like on the chin basically, and nods and says, I fear that the ring has called them to us. I fear that the frost giants have come to Chult. And we'll leave it there.
Cool.
That's very cool.
Shit.
So, do you guys already know what a frost giant is?
Yeah.
Only in meta. Oh, actually, my character
we
would know what they are.
No, yeah. Oh, yeah. Like me personally.
All
yes.
right.
Yeah, that's what I mean. Like,
Bull.
they're out of character.
Here you go,
Yep.
bud. Have a fucking handout, son. So let me read a little bit about him. Where is it?
You'd know about him.
Everybody would know about them, considering they've just spent the last, 9 months
Killing
Annihilating.
giants.
trying to fuck up the entire world.
Yep.
Who knows? Maybe this is where old Harshnag went.
See, everything's different over here. Maybe they're friendly. Goblins have a society over here that's decent.
Azaka confirms. So the one thing I will add is Azaka confirms that this place, there are nothing like giants here. On Chult, there is nothing like them.
I think we should kill Arda Simba or whatever his name is and steal his ring, because apparently it can attract giants.
Or
Joking, I'm joking.
yeah, good luck. He will.
Who can throw the
he
furthest?
He will fuck you guys up 6 ways from Sunday. You'll be all re-rolling fucking characters that I have to reinvest in. So no.
Wait till he's asleep.
Yes.
Yep.
I think he was king, and he doesn't speak for all of us.
I was open to it.
Yep. So
I'm
yeah,
going to make him a batch of
It's
special.
murder related. I'm in.
murder. Most least likely to murder.
This frost giants look awesome, man.
Yeah. So there is in the D&D universe pool. There's a series of giants. There is like hill, stone, frost, cloud, fire, and storm.
Okay.
And they've all got different purposes. Some are good, some are bad. The frost giants are very much based off sort of like Viking mythology. They're like raiders and fuck around in these massive giant long ships similar to Viking ships. Yeah.
They're not inherently evil, though.
Some are. Some definitely are.
Yeah. But as a race, like,
Yep. There are
stereotyping.
Cloud-
There is and there isn't.
cloud giants.
Profile.
Yeah. Storm giants are typically good. And on the other scale of that, like they're at the top of the giant food chain, and then you've got hill giants at the end of that, at the other end, who are
Dum-dums.
basically really silly, really primal, and then everything in between. Like cloud giants sort of sit in the neutral area; they can go good or bad. Fire giants tend to be bad, as do frost. They like fire giants are like builders and connivers and schemers, and frost giants are raiders and pillagers and all that kind of stuff. So they've all got their own culture. The last campaign we played, Storm King's Thunder, was all about the giant culture, and we will be revisiting some of that stuff after this campaign.
Oh, cool.
Hey,
Not
Rel,
during?
at least Prosser would survive as he is away. Yes, he would definitely survive.
Oh,
I know.
I'm going to use him as a human shield.
If I want to kill anyone in this campaign, it's that prick. So,
how do I save this clip?
yeah.
Well, I'm going to make sure Aladdin drinks some of my special tea, so that's fine. The one that I'm making for Simba.
That's it.
No, he's got to realise his
I,
true calling
what's,
as a chef.
you know my detect something spell? What's it actually called? Because it's not called detect something.
No,
spell.
I'm trying to.
Poison.
Yeah.
No. The ranger one. I think it's natural explorer.
What, the ranger's primeval awareness?
Yeah, but is it called primeval awareness?
That's the one where they can see like a mile or sense a mile or 6 miles.
Primeval awareness, 3rd level. Favored enemy, natural explorer, spell casting, fighting style, archery.
I've got no.
Here we go.
I've got no description.
Yep, you do. So, beginning at 3rd level, you can use your action to expend 1 ranger slot to focus the awareness on the region around you for 1 minute per level of the spell slot you expend. So you're supposed to use the spell slot. That's okay, no problem.
How did you find that though?
It's so if you click on the I button up on the top right corner of your Roll20
Yep.
interface, and then in the box type Ranger.
Oh, I've been reading through the. Never mind.
That's all right. This has most of the stuff in it. Click Ranger, scroll all the
Yep.
way down the bottom, and you'll come across all your abilities, including Primeval Awareness.
Yeah, understood.
Just copy it and paste it into your character sheet.
You can
I'll
do
go
that,
watch
absolutely,
shit.
as an ability.
Or you could read the book.
Yeah.
Support the official release.
It's not in the book. What's the problem?
What the official? Put that down.
It is
Or get the UA.
it is definitely in the player's handbook. This is where that's taken from. The copy. You don't have the physical book though, do you, Bull? You've got the.
No, I'm searching for it in the one I've got, and it's not there.
Um,
The description does not exist in this what I've got.
okay, cool. I'll try to get you. I thought maybe I didn't send you all the information, which is
I'll buy it.
yeah. That I would recommend. I'm eventually going to add the player's handbook, the Dungeon Master Guide, and all the other books to our Roll20 library. So you'll have you guys by playing in my game will have all that access. God damn! I want to clip that. You may clip that. Clip that shit. Give it to Prosser. He's a filthy ginger.
Just filthy.
Judas, hey man, how's it going? Yellow, welcome. Sorry man, I didn't see Creep in there. Thanks for the host. Okay, we're wrapping up now, guys. Thank you for those who chimed in tonight. Really appreciate it. We will be back next week, same bat time, same bat channel. And yeah, thanks for tuning in. Catch us later.
Bye.
Bye.